Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie from the Farmhouse Mom. I'm a 49-year-old mom of two boys, 14 and 5, and we live on a small goat farm in the Ozarks. For this video, I'm going to take you along over about 3 days. We're going to go ahead and do some sourdough baking. We're going to make some dinners, do a little thrift shopping, and finish decorating for Halloween. So after I make breakfast and milk my goats in the morning, I like to get started on dinner so it's not like 4 or 5 o'clock and I'm exhausted and I have no idea what I'm going to make. I'm not typically a meal planner, but as long as I have sourdough starter on hand, I usually can whip something together. This morning I'm making sourdough pasta. That recipe is a scant 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, and half a cup of sourdough starter. I've made this pasta recipe before and it seems like when it gets to about this stage, I get really nervous and I add more liquid. But if you're making a sourdough pasta, just let it keep going and it will come together. This dough might even be a little bit too dense. I might have wanted to add a little bit more moisture, but it turned out. So we're gonna go ahead and cover it with a little plastic wrap and set it out on the counter to long ferment for the day. I'm also going to put a loaf of sourdough bread in. My son's favorite lunch is peanut butter and jelly on sourdough bread, and so I'm going to get that ready for him before we go and do a little thrift shopping for the day. At one of our favorite thrift stores, and I feel like a weirdo when I'm filming inside, so if I feel like I can film without people looking at me, I will, but if not, we'll just show you what we got when we're done. Okay, let's go. Okay, we didn't film inside, but we got 2 shelves for $2 each and some free apples. So really long shelves. Those will be perfect for, I don't know, my barn, something. They'll be good, but real wood. Oh, here comes the train. All right, let's head on to the next one. Okay, we're at our second store, and this is our favorite store, huh? This is our favorite. So, and if there's not a lot of people, again, I will try to video. If not, we will just show you what we got when we get home. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
I will follow you.
All right, so we did find some good things, and I'm going to show you later in the video. We're really lucky because even though I'm in a really small town, there's 3 really awesome thrift stores, and one of them is called a 25-cent store, and it's amazing. So that's where my husband and I are really trying to work hard to be debt free. And so, you know, I like to decorate as much as the next lady, but I'm really tightening down my budget and I'm simply thrifting. That's all I'm doing as far as decor. And actually, we are also going to have a thrifted Christmas or make something for each other. And that's what we have decided that we are going to do for Christmas. And I think it's going to be awesome. The kids have so much stuff anyway. Honestly, don't they have so much more than we had as kids? I remember growing up in the 80s, like nobody had anything. Maybe that was just me. I don't know. That's how it was for us. All right. So by the time I got home from thrifting and put everything away, I had to go teach my fitness class, and so it's probably about 5 o'clock, and I started on the pasta. I don't have a pasta cutter, but I do have a pasta roller, thanks to my sister. She came over to my house one Christmas. We always make pierogies for Christmas in honor of my grandparents. My grandpa was Polish, and she just left it, and so she just went and bought herself a new one, so I have a pasta roller, so I was pretty happy about that. Okay, so here's the pasta. I usually let it set out for about 30 minutes just so it can, you know, dry, make sure it's not like super sticky when you go to pick it up. All right, so what I have here is some Italian sausage that I get at a grocery store in town. They make it themselves. It's really good. I used about 1/3 of this pound for pizza night, which we have every Friday night. I didn't want the meat to be really small, like ground beef, and so just with my hands I kind of just made it into little tiny meatballs and cooked it that way. Even though it is the middle of October, we have had some unseasonably warm weather, and so the garden is just kind of, struggling along, and it's still producing tomatoes for us. I am done canning and, peeling tomatoes. I did not want to do that anymore, and so all this week I just have been trying to think of recipes that I can use to use up all these tomatoes. I did not take the skins off of these. There's lycopene and lots of good nutrients in the tomato skins, and so they just went in, skins and all. It was a really delicious dinner, and it turned out really nice. And I just seasoned it with a little bit of salt. I think I did some oregano, maybe some thyme, but I kept it pretty simple, and I put a little bit of parsley on top. Another reason why I didn't peel the tomatoes is because I wanted all of the tomato juice. I didn't want to lose any, because I just was going to put the fresh pasta right on top, which is what I did. Here's me cutting the pasta, and you can see why it would probably be better with a pasta cutter. I cannot cut a straight line if my life depended on it, but it tasted the same. It was still really good. I just drop it right in the boiling tomato sauce, and it, fresh pasta only takes a couple of minutes, and so there's a little bit of prep ahead of time, the beginning of the day, but it turned out to be a really quick dinner. I think it was maybe 30 minutes, and we were ready to eat. And here's the bread that I had made earlier in the day. I thought I had made it for my son's lunch, but obviously I must have already had some bread in the bread box, because this was nice and ready for dinner time. You will see me serve sourdough bread almost every day. It's really good, and I also mill my own flour. I do half of it King Arthur unbleached flour, and I do half of it fresh ground flour, and it's really good, and it's really good for you. All right, so it's the next day, and we're going to go ahead and put up the shelves I got at the thrift store. I'm going to have my husband put them up. I tried them out in my barn, but I just really didn't have a place for them, and they were the perfect size for this schoolroom wall. It just was like a nice length, and we're not going to put anything heavy on them, so I just had my husband just put some nails in. We didn't, do anything heavy to anchor them down, because I'm mostly just going to use it to display Jackson's schoolwork, his artwork, and then also, as the season, since that is our schoolroom, as the seasons change, we'll make sure that it's decorated with a lot of fun things. Now I'm going to go ahead and make some sourdough banana bread. I first am going to use this Blue Ribbon recipe cookbook. My grandma actually had one of these Blue Ribbon recipe cookbooks. My sister has it, and then I found this copy at, you guessed it, at the 25-cent store. So now we both have a copy of that recipe book, and I just remember as a kid looking through that, and I don't know, I just loved cookbooks even as a kid, and so I'm super happy that we both have one. So I'm going to just make the recipe, the one that I made. There's probably 5 or 6 recipes for banana bread in there, just because it was, from all of the county fair Blue Ribbon winners. I used the one from a lady in Lawrence, Kansas. And so I'm making that one without sourdough. Because I'm experimenting on taking these older recipes and converting them to sourdough. A lot of times when you're making a quick bread, all you have to do is just add a half a cup of sourdough, and that's exactly what I did. So I made the recipe just as it was without sourdough in it, because, I just wanted to make sure that the recipe was good. If it didn't turn out, I wanted to know if it was because I didn't like the original recipe, or maybe the sourdough ratio was not right. So I made that one, and then I made 2 more batches with adding a half a cup of sourdough starter, and I long fermented the last 2 batches. So if you're new to sourdough baking, Long fermenting is when you make your dough recipe and then you either let it set on the counter or the refrigerator for 8 hours or 24 hours. And what that does is breaks down the flour a little bit. I don't know if it's the gluten that's breaking it down, but it breaks down the flour to where it's easier to digest. So I was watching a YouTube video of a lady that you could tell she was new to sourdough, and she made some sourdough bread, and instead of having it double in bulk and then ferment for an extra 12 hours in the refrigerator, she just put it right in the oven, which you totally can do that. And then she made the other one a day later and taste tested, and she was like, well, they both taste the same, so I don't see what the point is in waiting an extra day. It's not worth the time. And when you're starting out with sourdough, you might not know that the whole point of long fermenting a recipe is you're allowing all of the lactobacillus and all of the good bacteria in the sourdough starter to break down the flour, and it's much easier on your stomach to process, and it doesn't make you bloated and any other negative effects that you might have from flour. So that's the whole point of long fermenting. It's obviously for the taste because it's got that nice sour taste, but you're wanting extra health benefits, and that's what the long fermenting will do. So I've got the 2 white bowls there in my sourdough fridge, and I am experimenting on long fermenting them for a day with the banana in it. While I was putting that away, I saw my sourdough refrigerator was completely disgusting, so we cleaned that, and then also it's Jackson's job to refill the butter. So he was doing his job and getting that butter all stocked up. I have tried some sourdough banana bread recipes before, but when you are going to long ferment it, they never have you add the banana. And that has never worked for me, because when you long ferment just, the sourdough starter and the flour and a few other ingredients, and then you try to incorporate the banana and the other ingredients back in, it just never really fully incorporated, and I don't want to, mix it for like 5 or 6 minutes and make my banana bread really tough. So I wanted to try it with a banana, and it actually turned out really good. I have that at the end of the video. But here is our regular banana bread. Super light, super fluffy, really good, and it got a thumbs up from everybody, and they had a nice warm banana bread chocolate chip muffin with some cold, fresh, raw goat milk. Okay, so it's the next day, and I'm going to go ahead and show you everything that I got thrifting. So I got this little cute candy dish from Home Interiors. I got that for 25 cents. I got this cute little vintage planter. When I looked it up online, it said it was a planter, but I'm probably going to put like my dish scrubbing brushes and things in it. But isn't that so cute? It's really pretty. Anytime I see a vintage cookbook, I pick it up. I love an old cookbook. 25 cents. I got this little bell just because I thought it was sweet, and it's a nice fall colors. This little Iowa bell, 25 cents. I also got this old lady kind of doily for Christmas. I got a green one last time I went, and I got this nice red one, 25 cents. And this, I got this beautiful Wilton cast iron, it's not Wilton, it's Nordic Ware. Beautiful Nordic Ware cast iron snowman pan. So we're going to, and this was $2. So I'm going to make a little snowman for the kids for Christmas time. And then I got this bag of vintage cookie cutters for 25 cents for all of them. My favorite one is a calumet. I'm sorry, I was out working the goats today, and so my fingers are purple. I'm really sorry, but you know how it is. It's how it is with me. And this cute little leaf, and a couple of these might not be vintage. I think these with the little handles are vintage. I'm not sure about the ones without the handles, but this Tupperware biscuit cutter, I feel like that, I'm gonna use that. So cute little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 25 cents, little cookie cutters. And look at this beautiful glazed pottery acorn dish, 25 cents. And I couldn't pass up this 1983 Beastal creation. So who is old like me and remember stuff like this from school? But I thought that would be so fun on the kids' table. And it was in great condition, 1983. So what is that, 31 years, I guess? Yeah. So I thought that was so cute, and it came with a little package. And then I got these two items, 25 cents. I don't think this is vintage, but it's really cute. Nice little soap dish and a little pumpkin, 25 cents each. And look at this vintage turret style, like castle style candle holder. How cute would that be for Christmas to put like a big pillar candle in it? Just a little frosted glass. I feel like that would be cute. And this big pumpkin, it's $24.99. I got it for 25 cents, but isn't that cute? I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I'm like, this is nice. And I think it's metal. It definitely feels like it's metal. And I'm a real sucker for vintage dishes, and so this was 25 cents, and I will put this in my barn or put it up here, but I just thought it was really pretty, and I felt like it had a few years of life left in it, and so I got that. And then this, I already have one of these, but this was $2. Anytime I see like this little milk glass for like a couple dollars, I feel like I have to get it. I can give it as a gift if I don't use it, but it kind of looks like a pumpkin, don't you think? I think it'll be really cute for Thanksgiving and for fall. All right, and I have a couple of other dishes out that I've thrifted, and I'm gonna go ahead and style this cabinet here. This is the cabinet that's right above my sourdough fridge, and so I try to keep it full of bowls that I use every day because I use all my Pyrex. I remember I bought a set of Pyrex this spring, and I told the lady that I was going to use it, and she was absolutely horrified that I was going to use it, but I use my vintage stuff. I think that it deserves to be used. And so I'm just putting up a couple of the other pieces around the house. I put a couple pieces inside the schoolroom. I really think I'm going to like these shelves inside the schoolroom. I think it's going to make it look really cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish the decorating in the living room. I always struggle on what to do with the fireplace and with the mantle, and the reason is I don't like having the TV above the fireplace. I just don't like it. I don't feel like we even watch the TV that much, because when we do watch something, it's on our laptops, or we have a TV room upstairs that's the kids and Eric go upstairs, and they watch their movies up there, and then I'll be downstairs. That's my time alone in the evening, as my son likes to say. I also wanted to hang up the picture above the piano. I had it just kind of setting there, and I knocked a mirror down the other day that was just setting on my hutch. And I just didn't want it sitting on the piano anymore because I am going to be adding a lot more photos. So I wanted it up off on the wall. That is a picture of the Monterey Coast. My husband and I love the Monterey Coast. It's our favorite place to be. And as you're decorating, I feel like, that might not fit in with a vintage vibe, but I feel like you should put stuff that you love. And every time I look at that picture, it just makes me smile, and it makes me think of all the awesome vacations, the beautiful romantic vacations I've been on with my husband. And I'm gonna go ahead and put up the family pictures on the piano that I do have, and also at the thrift store. Look at all these little photos that I picked up for 25 cents. I have a lot of small photos of my grandma and my grandpa from the 40s, and I want to put those up. So as I was decorating, I said, we need something spooky on this. And Jackson came running around the corner. He's like, I know exactly what we should use. And he had his little trick-or-treat pumpkin, and he knew that it had all the webbing and the spiders in there. And so it just was so adorable. I didn't celebrate any holidays growing up, and I don't want that for my children. And so I always try to make a big deal of the holidays. It's really just so fun, and it just makes them feel excited and special, and it brings me so much joy. So I really, really love the holidays, which I'm sure a lot of people do, but this is the final look for the mantle. I was pretty pleased how it turned out, and these are just some other places around the house that we have decorated. Of course, our hutch, we always have the hutch decorated, and this is kind of like our little bar area. And Jackson was very proud of himself. He put that little spider up, and he really enjoyed it. And here is the sourdough banana bread, and I feel like it turned out really good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I upload every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you next Tuesday.